Hi everyone, and welcome to Waste Not Wednesday, where I take everyday objects and transform them into other things. Today, for my farmhouse Christmas tree, I came up with these adorable little galvanized tin feed pails made from K-cups. If you guys like what you see, please consider subscribing as well as hitting the notification bell so that you can be alerted to every time we upload new videos. Hi everyone, welcome to Waste Not Wednesdays. This is the Junk Gypsy, and today we're going to take these K-cups and upcycle them into these adorable little galvanized buckets, Christmas ornaments, and we're going to make them into little feed buckets. So I just take the top off and take the coffee out. There is a little like coffee filter in there that needs to be removed as well, and I rinse them off in the sink. And then these are the paints that I chose to use. I found that painting them a darker color first actually helped. If you don't have these exact colors, you can use anything that's close. So just also silver paint would work. I didn't have any, so I had this silver stamp pad that I found at Hobby Lobby. It was actually called Silver. It was $3.99 and 40% off coupon, and I've had it for a while. I never used it. I got some makeup sponges that are really good for blending. And here we go. So first, you're just going to base coat everything black. And you could actually use spray paint. I didn't have any. I used just cheap acrylic black spray paint. But again, if you only had a darker gray, you could use it. It just helps when you go to make it look galvanized to be a lot easier to actually blend the paints when it's a darker color, a darker base color. So I'm just going to paint a few of them because I have some of them already made up, but we're going to do 3 and I'm going to show you how I did it. Where I actually paint the inside of the cups first. Now they are plastic, so they did take a little while. I just left them overnight to dry. But if you were doing these assembly style, I would assume by the time you finished, I'd say 12 of them or so, that when you got to the end of painting the insides, they would be dry enough to flip them over and paint the outsides. But I'm so impatient that I'm going to try and paint everything and let it dry. So it doesn't have to be full coverage either. You're really just looking for something to have a base of coat of. So I'm just going to black base coat the outside and the inside. Just don't forget to do the inside of the lip and the outside of the lip as well. Now these little makeup sponges that I have are perfect for painting and blending, but if you don't have it, you could use a kitchen sponge, any other makeup sponge. You could technically even ball up a paper towel and use it. A lot of times I actually use baby wipes. Baby wipes work great to smear paint. So I just have a foam plate and I'm just trying to get the most coverage so I don't have to come back. Just turning the K-cup and trying to get a little bit of the base coat on it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want the majority of it to have a black or dark gray base coat. So I'm going to speed it up because I do paint a couple of these so you guys don't have to sit there and watch paint dry literally. I'll be right back when I finish with them. Okay, so now that we have them base coated, I'm going to take a lighter shade of gray and just put a little small dab is all you need. And then I'm going to take and dab it on. The key to this is actually just making sure all your dabs eventually connect. So, you can be kind of spotty at first and then just go back and rub with either the tip end or the opposite end to sort of like smear the paint together. And then just turn your K-cup and continue. When you first do it, it will just look like you're putting big giant splotches on the K-cup, but just keep going and it's going to be a little layering process that we're going to do. So as you can see, I'm just making sure I pick up every single time and then sort of pounce the paint on. I'm going to go all the way around and then make sure you get the bottom as well. As you can see, some of the black paint, I must have touched it. So I'm just going to touch it up a little with the black. And then just keep going with my gray. And then here's an even lighter shade. I found that using 3 different shades, you know, the dark base coat, a medium second coat, and then a light top coat, really just added to the galvanized metal look. So you're going to just do the same thing, just a small amount of paint. I even dip it a lot of times, and then dip it, once I dip it in the paint, dip it off to the side of the plate to try to remove a little bit of it, because it's better to go over it with super light coats and do multiple coats than to put too much on, because then you spend so much time trying to actually remove all the excess paint. Now, if you do not like what you got, you could always just add some more black and start all over again. But I'm just going around with the lighter color to sort of give it some dimension. And then I'm going to set it to the side to dry once I'm happy with it. And then here's another one that's been dried. So I'm going to take my stamp pad, and I found it just fine to just rub the stamp in different little spots. You could put your dabber onto it and do it, and then I just, after I rubbed it in a few spots, I just took my sponge and helped to smear the ink around, and it's amazing. I actually, you could use paint, but I think that using the stamp pad is actually a lot better because it's a lot drier, so it smeared really easily for me. And then you're just going to do it in random spots so that it looks like some of the shiny metal is coming through. I was really quite impressed by how much it really looked like galvanized a metal. This would be a great technique on just about anything. I mean, these are plastic and it adheres very well to it. So you see me now, I'm just going to do the inside. I smush some onto the applicator and then just put it on the inside. And there you have it. Now, I decided I really wanted to look authentic, and this one had a little too much silver, so I took some very sparingly, put black paint on my sponge and just went back over a few spots and really blended it with the sponge so that it was a little more darker in certain areas and lighter in certain areas. I mean, it's totally unnecessary to do this. It is a K-cup, but my husband says I'm a little extra, and I guess I am, because I really wanted them to look like authentic galvanized pails. I love when you make a craft and you tell somebody, like, these are K-cups, and they're like, no way, and actually have to touch it to realize that it is a K-cup. So just keep doing it till you like it. And then now I'm going to show you guys, if you have a vinyl cutting machine, you could easily cut the letters out and apply it. But here I'm just using a black marker, and I'm going to write the word feed across it. Just do your best you can. This would be a great project for kids to do as well. I try to go really thin at first so that I can come back over it and make it as thick as I need. You don't want to press too hard. Just lightly make the letters, and then go back over them, you know, as many times as you need to get them as thick as you need to get them. Okay. Okay, so this is how I attach the handle to the little pail. I have a crocodile is what this is called. I had it for a few years and didn't even realize I had it till I moved and cleaned out my craft room. It works wonders. It has different size hole punches you can use. But I'm just putting a hole on each side. If you don't have one of these, obviously you can use a hole punch. And if you don't have a hole punch, you could probably just make a hole with a skewer, or an adult could use it as a knife. Of course, it didn't have any regular wire, so I had found some picture hanging wire that I had. Now the problem that you're going to see me struggle with is that picture hanging wire has multiple little wires wrapped to make it strong. And so I had to make sure my wires, every time I went to feed them through, they would fray a little bit. But I don't take a lot of things out sometimes, so you guys can see that I struggle with almost everything that I do, because I've just learned to adapt and roll with the punches. So there I was, retaking it out. It's really not that hard. I just think the picture hanging wire made it a lot harder than it should have been. I feed it through one side and then make a little loop and then feed it through the other side. And make a loop on that side as well. Like I said, this could easily be a kid's. If you don't have metal wire, you could easily use rope or string or even paper if you needed to. I think this would be really, really great to make with my grandchildren. All right, I managed to get through it, y'all. Aren't they adorable? Look how cute. So you can either keep your inside a solid color, or like you saw me do, I just literally took my sponge, stuck in the inside, and smeared it around one time just to sort of give it some dimension. And there's the other one that I made. If you guys make this, please make sure you comment below and send us a picture. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I do appreciate everyone, and look forward to next Wednesday.